everyone, I'm Meredith Abbott, Culinary Director for Sur La Table, and welcome to On the Table. Today I'm going to be making apple pie bars. They're everything you love about apple pies, but in a convenient bar form. To make my filling, I need to finish peeling and slicing my apples. Today I'm using Granny Smith apples. I really like how these are tart and crisp because the tartness really holds up against the sweetness of the rest of the filling, and they have nice texture when they're baked. Okay, those are peeled. Get the peel out of the way, and I'm just now going to slice around the core. And I'm going to now slice them into uniform thickness. Again, so everything kind of cooks at the same time. This is a cooked filling. Add these to my already sliced apples. And now I'm gonna heat my large Dutch oven or brazier. You could use a heavy bottom skillet, but you do want something that has a lot of surface area and some height to it because this is gonna be a lot of volume that's going to cook down. I'm gonna add all of my filling ingredients: brown sugar, lemon juice, granulated sugar, cornstarch, almond extract. I'm gonna eyeball it. Yeah, a little spoon. Cinnamon, salt, butter, and some water. Cinnamon really gives it that quintessential apple pie. You could also add in some cardamom or nutmeg or cloves or allspice. Whatever you like to put in your apple pie, add that to this apple pie bar filling. And this all gets stirred together. Bring this to a simmer. And this is going to cook until the sauce has thickened and the apples are just tender. The filling has been sitting here bubbling away for about 6 minutes. My apples are just getting tender. My sauce is nice and thick. So now turn off the heat, and I'm going to pour this filling into a shallow dish. Today I'm using a rimmed baking sheet, but you can use a 9x13 baker. And this is to help cool it because we want our filling to be cool before we add it to our pie dough. Now, I'm gonna set this aside to cool while I roll out my pie dough. I've already pre-rolled and filled my pan with the bottom crust, and now I'm going to work on the top crust, which is going to be our lattice. So I've got a little flour down. I'm gonna flour the top slightly, and I'm gonna rub a little bit of flour on my rolling pin. I like this one in particular because it has the inch marks on here, which is going to make it really easy to know when I've got this pie dough to the shape and size that I want it to be. So even pressure. I'm gonna start by rolling it long. Always make sure that you are moving your pie dough around so it doesn't stick to your surface. You can re-flour as you need. We're going to roll this quite thin. If you're looking for a rectangle, that's about 12 inches by 17 inches. That is because I'm using a half sheet pan. All right, keep rolling. Okay. And now I'm going to cut my strips of my lattice crust. Okay, so I'm just kind of mapping out my strips. I like them to be a variety of widths. I think it's visually interesting. This is just going to ensure that I get 15 because I'm doing 9 by 6. I'm just going to trim this edge really quickly. I'm going to use my fluted edge. You can kind of do it on both edges. You can have some straight, some fluted, however you prefer. It looks kind of nice to have the fluted. And I'm just gonna run it down. So. Using your rolling pin as a guide just ensures that everything is straight. This layer is full, so I'm just going to top this with a fresh sheet of parchment paper, finish cutting, and lay them on, and then into the fridge they go. All of my components are now ready. I have my chilled pie dough base, my cooled filling, and my strips that I'm going to be using for my lattice top. Now it's time to assemble and weave the lattice. You definitely want your filling cool before it goes into your pie crust. And spread my filling out as evenly as possible. It will also spread and kind of settle itself too when this goes in the oven. Great, I'm done with that. And now it's time to create the lattice topping. I'm going to lay the strips all in one direction first. And my kind of thicker ones, lay it right down in the middle, like so. And then just try to evenly space your strips. Don't press these down in because you want to be able to kind of rearrange the spacing. We're looking for 9 in this direction. Take a skinny one. So. Okay, so I've got all of my strips in one direction. Now I'm going to pull back. Lay on itself every other one. I like to start with about 1/3 first. You can do it 1/2. Just want to be very careful. And I'm going to now set the strip going in the opposite direction. I'm looking for 5 or 6 in this direction. So now I flip those over. And then now I'm going to flip the opposite ones up over that cross strip. That. I'm going to lay down another strip. That. And that is how you create a lattice. So now I'm just going to repeat this, but on the other side. You kind of get into a rhythm after you do this for a while. All right, I got 5 in, 5 or 6. Flip those over. Great. Now it's time to seal those edges. So this is just like with a pie. And tuck everything in, working your way around. And now we're going to come in and crimp the edges just like you would in a pie. Take 2 fingers on one hand and one on the other and press. And then kind of work your way around. This is just going to seal those pie doughs together, and it'll look a little pretty when it bakes. This isn't going to hold quite as pretty of an edge as if it was a pie dough on the top, but it serves a purpose. Beat 1 egg until it's well whisked. Okay. And now I'm going to take a pastry brush and just brush the tops of the pie dough. I'm just going to keep doing this until you get all of your lattice pieces and your edges washed in some beaten egg. Perfect. And now this goes into my preheated oven. Apple pie bars have cooled for about 15 minutes and now I'm ready to cut into them. So cut all the way through. Nice, okay. Take my pie scoop. Oh, look how beautiful that is. It is just a mini apple pie. I would serve this with some sliced almonds for just a fun little twist because there's almond extract in the filling. But I'm gonna take a bite. You definitely need to make these. It is everything you want. It's the nice tart apple with the warm cinnamon and the crispy flaky pie dough. Just perfect. Enjoy.